Good evening and welcome. I'm Chris Parnell.
Reporting from Moscow.
Tbilisi.
Times Square.
May your dreams be your only boundaries in life.
Welcome to Let's Talk Money. My name is Kelly Bolton, and my co-host Harvey Cook was not able to join us today, but he does send his best. In today's competitive job market, it's essential to have marketable skills. Whether this comes in the form of education or experience, employers are looking for individuals that have the personal and professional capabilities to be successful. In Memphis, we're fortunate to have Southwest Tennessee Community College that has a long history of equipping students with the skills and resources needed to compete. So without further ado, I'm honored to welcome Mr. Robert Miller. He's Executive Director of Communications and Marketing for Southwest Tennessee Community College. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure being here, Kelly.
Well, tell us, before we get started on Southwest Tennessee Community College, which is quite a mouthful, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've got an extensive mass media background. I'm a graduate of Northwestern University, Medill School of Journalism. And when I started in the business, I was in television for 5 or 6 years. I was a TV news reporter in Cincinnati, New Orleans, and then I became a national network correspondent for ABC News in New York and Chicago. Did that pretty much during the 70s, and decided when I got married that I needed to get a real job, right? That was more sedentary. And when I was in the news business, especially with the network, I was on a plane almost every other night for a year, and I'd go from eating on stories out of a paper bag to a very expensive restaurant.
Right.
So, you know, it was nice as a bachelor, but when I got married and wanted to start a family, I needed to get something that was more stable. But primarily, in my background, it's pretty mixed. I also served as general manager of several radio stations in Houston, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, and Oakland, San Francisco, California. And I spent 6 or 7 years as general manager of Comcast Cablevision in Tallahassee, Florida, one of the largest cable TV systems in America.
Wow. Well, I'm a little intimidated. I'm glad I didn't know this before I asked you to be a guest on our show.
Yeah. But then the reason why I got into higher education, once I got out of the media, I spent quite a few years managing university communications for 2 universities in New Orleans, and started my own business. I produced a magazine very similar to Memphis Magazine in New Orleans. And that's pretty much it. All of that prior to Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, causing my family to relocate to Houston.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did that for a couple of years, and then I got this opportunity, and I've been here now in Memphis for 7 years at Southwest Tennessee.
Well, we're lucky to have you. I know the students, as you know, our show is filmed and produced entirely by students, which is quite impressive.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And the show that our guests are watching today that you're on, it's a new crew, so it's exciting for them. They're going to be the crew next year for the show, so they're kind of training them. So I'm sure they may want to pick your brain. Now, I understand that the school, Southwest, has gotten a very prestigious group of awards here recently. Can you tell us about that?
Well, we actually, every year I've been here, we've been fortunate enough to be successful in terms of nationally competitive awards. Excuse me, this year we received 6 Marcom Awards administered by the Association of Marketing and Communication Professionals outside of Dallas, Texas. And we competed with thousands of advertising agencies, colleges, university PR shops, other communication professionals, and Our college magazine called Southwest Now Magazine received really one of the top awards, the Platinum, out of thousands of entries.
That's incredible. And is
in
that,
America, in
is
several
that
countries.
written and
It's
done by
published.
the students or published by the students?
No, I'm the producer and I'm the publisher and
publisher.
the editor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the magazine. So yeah, they worked me pretty hard.
It sounds like it. I thought you did this to maybe slow down a little bit. It doesn't
No.
sound like it. It's just
No.
keeping you in Memphis.
Yeah, and
just
it's
grounded more.
enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, tell our viewers, for those that might not be familiar with the college, can you tell us a little overview about the college and maybe kind of what it's known for? If you want to get an education in certain things, does it have a certain draw?
You know, when I first came here, I felt that Southwest was one of the best kept secrets in Memphis. And what's happened is that we didn't really, Southwest really was founded in 2000, but as part of a merger of two colleges, State Technical Institute in Memphis and also Shelby State Community College.
And I bet a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, and but since then we've done a lot of branding, and you see the Southwest name everywhere: billboards, buses, TV commercials, radio, print ads. All of that is handled out of my office. Communications and marketing is really the communications face for the college. The college itself is a multicultural, open access public college. It's the largest two-year college in the state of Tennessee. We offer over 100 programs of academic study that lead to multiple degrees in terms of university parallel degrees where the credits transfer, and also the associate degrees that we offer. Our primary mission is to be of service in terms of enhancing the educational, economic development, workplace, and also community service needs of the Mid-South.
Oh, that's good. You know, our show is called Let's Talk Money, so anything that can help the economic needs and the economic needs of our students, I think that's important. For those people that don't understand how a two-year college works, you mentioned associate degree or transferring it to a four-year school.
Yes.
Can you talk about what that really means?
What it means, the simplest way to focus on that is to look at the offerings that we have. Degrees in a number of fields. For example, our more popular ones are nursing, technologies, engineering technologies, culinary arts. I don't want to leave anyone out. Business, paralegal, emergency medical technicians.
So it's a little bit of everything.
Biotechnology. Those are just some of the ones that we get a lot of graduates employed in. Right now we're averaging about 97% placement from our graduates who want to pursue
Really?
the
So those that
workplace.
finish the two-year program, there's a 90% placement in there.
About 97%.
Oh, that's incredible.
97%.
Well, they're telling me, they're telling me we got to take a break. So let's
Okay.
remember that thought because we're going to come back.
Okay.
And when we return, we're going to continue this discussion. So please stick around.
You can now watch your favorite Germantown community television shows from anywhere in the world. GHS-TV is streaming online, live 24/7. A viewing screen displays our channel just like you see on television. Simply visit our website at www.ghstv.org. So log on and enjoy hometown news from anywhere in the world, only at ghstv.org.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe.
Would it be okay if I sat here?
Is she serious? Whatever. New girl.
Sing away. Yes, words can't bring me down.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
So don't you bring me
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Money. If you're just tuning in, I am Kelly Bolton, and joining me today is Robert Miller, who's the Executive Director of Communications and Marketing at Southwest Tennessee Community College. In today's dynamic employment market, individuals must find a way to set themselves apart. With a broad array of professional and technical degree programs, Southwest has become a tremendous resource in our community. So please join me as we welcome back Mr. Robert Miller to our show. So thanks for staying. We were talking about a very interesting statistic before we took a break. You said 97% of your students in the 2-year program find placement.
97% of our 2013-14 graduates who sought employment are working, which is a phenomenal percentage.
Phenomenal. And let's talk about the economics of this. 2 things. I want to talk about the economics, and I also want to talk about the difference in the 2-year program, graduating from that and getting a job, and the 2-year program and going on to college.
Right. We have a pretty good mix. About close to half of our graduates go on to 4-year universities, and the other half enter the workplace. Now, the misnomer that a lot of people have about a 2-year college, and we're very fortunate to have a different scenario for us, is that our credits transfer, so that a typical Southwest graduate, for example, who wants to matriculate at UT Knoxville, for example, or University of Memphis or MTSU, what have you, that person will finish Southwest and then go to the 4-year institution as a junior. Now, financially, it's the cost at Southwest is only half of what it costs to go to a public university in West Tennessee.
Wow. And can you tell us about what that runs?
About a little over $1,900 a semester for a full-time student.
That's very good.
It's a great bargain.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are listening going, how could that be a bargain? But if you compare it to a state school, I know one of the state schools in Alabama, I heard, was $40,000 a year. You know, I mean, it's very expensive.
And that doesn't include room and board in Alabama, right? Or
no.
At my alma mater, it's close to $100,000, you know, in Illinois. But I think so when you look at it, also it's about 20% of the cost of a private university. So think about it in this context. It'll cost you 4 or 5 times more to go to a private university than Southwest. It'll cost you 2 times as much to go to U of M, for example, compared to Southwest. Yet when you finish Southwest, you enter U of M or UT Knoxville as a junior.
Right.
So you end up ultimately getting 2 degrees, really, an associate and a bachelor's, and for half the cost.
Yeah.
So you can't beat it.
No. And what do you help the graduates once they've left you and they go on to another school, say University of Memphis? Do you have many of them come back and say,
oh, yes,
can you help me? I'm looking for a job.
Yeah, we have a very active career services department, very active. In fact, I encourage your viewers to really visit our website. One of the awards, the national awards we just received, was for our website. The other national award we received, as I mentioned, is for a college magazine, but also we got a national award for our online newsletter called The Scoop. So with career services, if you visit our website, you'll be really impressed with the array of information that's available there. And the web address is southwest.tn.edu. Southwest.tn.edu.
Yeah, I think our viewers definitely need to check that out. And something we were talking about in the break, I know you said you had a real vested interest. You wanted to come see this facility here in Germantown High School. You were telling me, I made a note, 173 Germantown High School students are part of the Tennessee Promise?
I just got a breakdown on the number of course, for viewers that may not be aware of it, it's been in the news for months. The Tennessee Promise is Governor Haslam's scholarship, really, that the state legislature passed, that in essence will give free tuition to any 2015 high school graduate in Tennessee to matriculate at a community college or a technical college. And out of that in Memphis, for example, or Shelby County, I understand that over statewide, 56,000 plus high school seniors applied, which was almost 3 times more than the governor's goal. In Shelby County, about 6,400 plus, if I'm not mistaken, applied.
And there's free tuition.
Yeah, yeah. Out of that, 5,299 selected Southwest to come in the fall, fall 2015. Now, of that number, 173 are from Germantown High School.
Well, that's impressive.
So I had an added incentive to come over and just take a look.
Check it out, right.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
and we're very fortunate.
They do a very good
them.
job. Well, I know I'm sure that they're very interested in what's to offer at this, especially hearing some of their fellow students are going to be attending Southwest. I know we've got another minute before we take our next break. Is there any advice that you would give our viewers if they have children thinking about going to college, or the kids that are watching the show about trying to get in Southwest and how to get this Tennessee Promise?
Okay, well, the cutoff for fall 2015 just ended. So right now, for this year at least, graduates for May 2015 who'll come in the fall 2015, that's already set.
Okay.
But for the following year, for those who graduate in May of 2016, they'll be able to apply. I think the Tennessee Promise website address is tnpromise.gov, if I'm not mistaken.
tnpromise.gov. Okay, well, they're giving me that. We got to go to a break again, so we're going to take just a short break. When we return, we'll finish our discussion with Mr. Robert Miller, so stay tuned.
We've dedicated ourselves to making it a fantastic community show, and the Alliance for Community Media has named GHS-TV's Crosstalk the best informational program in the country. From coverage of important area issues and events to conversations with high-profile local, national, and international personalities, Crosstalk keeps you informed and entertained. Don't miss Crosstalk, produced entirely by the students of Germantown High School. The news show airs each week only on Germantown Community Television, cable channel 17.
Wow. College already?
Yeah. We gotta go.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. And thanks for everything.
Gratitude. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Hey, check it out.
When it gets cold, feels like the end. There's no place to go, you know I won't give in. No, I won't give in. Keep holding on, 'cause you know we'll make it through, we'll make it.
Thank you for joining me on Let's Talk Money. If you're just tuning in, I'm Kelly Bolton, and today we've been discussing how Southwest Tennessee Community College is equipping students to meet our community's employment needs. So joining us again is Mr. Robert Miller, Executive Director of Communications and Marketing for Southwest Tennessee Community College. That is still a mouthful for me to get out. Well, I wanted to ask you, before we took a break, we were talking about the Tennessee Promise Scholarship.
Yes.
I know that Southwest has done an amazing job at monitoring the employment needs in our community and trying to match a workforce and skills to meet the needs of our community. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Right. We have a very robust community education. Actually, it's corporate training and community education department, and with the Workforce Development Initiative. We received 2013 nearly $10 million federal grants and other grants as well geared towards workforce development. Right now we have probably the premier, not probably, it is the premier program in the state, period, bar none. And we call it IRT. What that stands for is Industrial Readiness Training Program. Over the last couple of years, over several hundred people who either never went to college or did go to college, it didn't matter, who entered this program. Most of them were connected with companies that had an interest in getting involved with the program and screening people that they were interested in and training, and they're now working.
That's impressive.
So bottom line is that that's addressing the economic development needs of Memphis and Shelby County.
Which is great, because I know a lot of times it's hard. You're going to come into the community and then you've got to find workforce. Yeah. So you're training them.
Yeah, we also have advanced manufacturing courses, and we also offer an expertise in logistics as well, which is really big, obviously, in terms of the economic picture of Shelby County. So it's working well.
That's great. And you mentioned something about continuing education courses.
Yes.
Tell us about that, and is there a big cost for that?
No, it's very inexpensive. People oftentimes who take continuing education courses, and the array is really diverse. You could have courses in computers. You could have courses in motorcycle.
Okay.
Right? You know, it's just the whole gamut. What happens though is that a lot of folks who take those courses end up still, for non-credit, end up actually going to the college for credit. So you really have a combination of both. And for people that are interested in that, they have a section of our website. Our main website is southwest, as I mentioned, .tn.edu, but if you put /CE, that'll take you directly to our continuing education. We published a couple times a year, 2 to 3 times a year, we publish a continuing education magazine. And that's right now electronically online on our website.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I want to make sure before we run out of time, I know that you have interviewed or been with some really fascinating people. We talked about your background when you were in journalism and in media. Can you tell us about some of the people and how they may have touched your life or impacted you? Or
Well, gosh, probably the most important interview I think I did was with Mother Teresa in Philadelphia.
You are kidding me. I wasn't expecting that.
No.
Wow.
No, I interviewed Mother Teresa in Philadelphia at the Eucharistic Congress of Catholics in '76. And also, I did anchor work for ABC on the Legionnaire's disease that broke out, where they had a lot of Legionnaires that died mysteriously at the old Bellevue Stratford Hotel. But I've also interviewed people like Pat Boone, Minnie Pearl, Marvin Gaye.
You are kidding.
Vanessa Williams. I've been very fortunate.
Well, I need to get out of the chair and let you take over. I am way intimidated now.
Ted Danson also, who's now on CSI.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of my more entertaining interviews.
Really?
I interviewed him in New Orleans, yeah.
And what was it that brought you to the interview with Mother Teresa? How did you end up in that interview?
I was assigned. New York, the New York assignment desk assigned me to go to Philadelphia and interview her. And, you know, it turned out to be just one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. She was just a fantastic human being.
Really? That makes me feel good. You know, you hear about people like that and you think, you know, could they possibly be that wonderful in person?
And think about this, when I interviewed her, I stood up and had to be down. I'm 6'7", and Mother Teresa couldn't have been more than 5'2".
Oh, wow. Wow.
So it was interesting, but she was really
and we could do a whole show on the people you've interviewed.
Well, I've been very fortunate.
Well, that's great. That is really, that's very fascinating. Do you ever kind of yearn to be back in it?
No, I got it out of my system. When I was at Northwestern, I always wanted to be on camera. Got that opportunity. and really, I really started out as a news writer for the CBS owned and operated station WBBM in Chicago. But they wouldn't let me on camera. They said I had to go to a small market and get some experience. But I was fortunate that a professor at Northwestern had some good contacts. In fact, he was the FCC chairman, Newton Minow. So I got an opportunity to go on air in Cincinnati.
Well, that's fabulous. Well, I know we've got just about a minute left to go, and I've got about 30 minutes worth of questions. But maybe since we know we've got just a little time left, is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience about Southwest that they may still need to know that we haven't covered yet?
Well, I would highly encourage anyone who's interested in an excellent education at a very affordable price to seriously consider Southwest. Our recruitment office number is in Memphis is 333-4399. That's 333-4399. And they are more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Well, but it's a great bargain, and I would highly encourage people to consider it.
Well, that's great. This has been a fabulous show, and I'm so glad you were able to join us. I hope that our audience has found the discussion informative and beneficial. So to learn more about Southwest Tennessee's fantastic programs, you can visit their website at southwest.tennessee or southwest.tn.edu. Once again, we thank our guest, Robert Miller, for joining us today, and we hope you will join us again next month on Let's Talk Money.